Welcome to Staffworks Explain. If you are here for the first time, please consider subscribing to this channel. In this video, we examine the proposed standard gauge railway extension from Suswa to Malaba through Kisumu, not from a political statement, but from environmental and social impact assessment itself. This is a project that has been studied extensively, costed repeatedly, and delayed consistently. The Esia, or the environmental and social impact assessment, gives us a clear picture of what is planned, what is required before the construction can start, and why the project remains stalled. We're going to provide a factual overview of this extension, where we're going to look at the resettlement, compensation framework, construction, why it has stalled, why it does not design. We give a project route, design, and key infrastructure, as well as social and environmental impacts. Let's start by giving the project background and strategic context, where we say that Suswa Kisumu Malaba SGR extension is intended to complete Kenya Western Railway corridor, linking the existing SGR terminus at Suswa to Kisumu and onward to Malaba at the Kenya-Uganda border. The project is structured in two phases. Phase 2B runs from Suswa to Kisumu. Phase 2C runs from Kisumu to Malaba. Combined, the alignment is approximately 475 kilometers. The railway passes through Narok, Bomet, Kericho, Nyamira, Kisumu, Kakamega, and Busia counties. Its stated purpose is to move the freight from the port of Mombasa to Western Kenya and Great Lakes region, while also supporting passenger transport. The total project cost, as indicated in the government planning and this report, is approximately 645 to 648 billion Kenya shillings. Funding has not yet been secured in full, a point that we are going to discuss later in this video. Route selections and design decision. We see that Esia confirms that the government selected the southern alignment after evaluating alternative routes. This alignment runs from Suswa through Narok, Bomet counties. It passes through Sotik and Sondu in Kisumu County, and then goes onward to Ahero and Kibos before terminating at Kisumu town, and then heads northwest to Malaba. The southern route, as we are told, was selected largely because it was reassessed or assessed to be cheaper than the northern alternative, which passes through Eldoret. And also they say that it was technically less risky in terms of terrain and geology. The railway is designed as a standard gauge single track system with passing loops. Passenger trains are designed to be operating at a speed of 120 kilometers maximum, while freight trains are designed for about 80 kilometers per hour. The required railway corridor is generally 70 meters wide, expanding significantly at station yards and logistic facilities. This corridor width directly informs the scale of land acquisition and settlement that will be cut for this project. Let's now focus on stations which have been identified in the report. The Esia and supporting technical documents identify 25 stations along Suswa Kisumu section. The Kisumu is designed as a terminal station. It is planned as a major passenger and freight hub, incorporating marshalling yard, locomotive service facility, and connection spur of approximately 8.7 kilometers to Kisumu port on Lake Victoria. The intermediate stations specifically named in the Esia report include Narok, Mulot, Bomet, Sondu, Ahero, and Kibos. These stations are intended to serve both passenger traffic and local freight handling. In addition to this, the design includes 18 passing stations. These are operational stations used primarily to allow trains traveling in opposite direction on a single track to pass each other safely. While the exact names are not publicly listed, their locations are fixed within the detailed engineering plans. Let's now talk about major rivers and where bridges are located, and where you have bridges as well as civil structures. One of the most technically demanding aspect of the project is the number of river crossings identified in this report. The railway alignment crosses or runs adjacent to several major rivers, which include Sondu, Nyangores, Kapsonoi, Nyando, Yala, Nzoia, and Malakisi rivers. Each of these rivers requires engineered bridge structures, not simple culverts. The report specifies that bridges must be designed to accommodate flood flows, protective or protect riverine ecosystems and prevent changes to natural drainage patterns. In flood-prone areas such as Nyando Basin and Lower Nzoia catchment, the report requires elevated embankments, extensive drainage works, as well as erosion and control measures. The design also includes multiple road overpasses and underpasses. These are not optional features. They are required to maintain road connectivity, allow livestock movement, and reduce accident risk where railway cut across existing transport and community routes. We have resettlement and compensation framework being detailed in this report, where it is addressed through resettlement action plan, which runs alongside this report. The resettlement action plans identifies person affected, project affected person along the corridors in counties of Narok, Bomet, Kericho, Nyamira, Kisumu, Kakamega, and Busia. Aspects or assets identified for compensation include land parcels, residential and commercial structures, crops, trees, as well as income generating activity. A cut-off date is established to determine eligibility. Compensation is to be paid prior to displacement, and grievances redress mechanism is included to handle dispute. Public consultation documented in the report indicate concerns among affected communities about valuation rates, timing of payments, and loss of livelihoods. From a project management perspective, these concerns represent a significant risk to schedule if not resolved early. Let's focus on funding model and financial reality, where Esia acknowledges that the project depends on a mixed funding model. This includes railway development levy revenues, national budget allocations, potential public-private partnership, as well as external financing. However, the Esia and related government disclosure do not confirm full financial closure. Levy revenues alone are insufficient to fund the project of this scale, and negotiations with financiers remain ongoing. This funding gap is central reason why the project has not moved beyond planning stage. Why has construction not yet started, although you have a clue as to why? Despite public announcement indicated January 26 as the start of the construction date, the project has not yet progressed to construction. The reasons are clear from documentation. First, the Esia and RAP approvals must be fully completed and conditions implemented. Second, land acquisition and compensation must be finalized section by section before work can begin. Third, funding has not been secured to the level required to award and mobilize construction contract. Fourth, detailed engineering designs for bridges, floodplains, and stations are still not yet well refined. These are not minor delays. They are structural constraints. In conclusion, you can say that Suswa Kisumu Malaba extension, as presented in the report, environmental social impact assessment, is a technically complex, socially insensitive, and financially demanding project. The report clearly documents the station to be built, rivers to be crossed, the communities to be affected, and the mitigation measures required. It also implicitly explains what the project has stalled. From a project management perspective, these delays are not surprising. Without secured financing, completed resettlement, and regulatory clearance, construction cannot proceed. The report does not sell the project. It exposes the scale of work which is required before the first rail is laid. That is reality behind the announcement. So thank you for reaching this far. If it's your first time here, please consider subscribing to this channel. You can also hit the notification bell so that whenever you upload a new video, you are notified. You can watch other videos that you have made on this project and other projects within Kenya and larger East African region, if not Africa. Thank you.